Hello YouTube, this is again Edward, and today I'm here with my first attempt to do something like top 10 and reviews, etc, etc, etc on anime and manga. As you can see, today's topic is top 10 best action shounens. But before we start with my list, here are a few things you should know. First, this is purely my opinion. It can change over the time or it can't. You may agree, you may disagree, but it's the only thing you can do. I'm warning you, especially if you like stuff like Naruto, Fairy Tail or Bleach. They are not here. It's not that I hate them, but I don't consider them to be the best. Second, this video is made purely for entertainment and not for money. So if I'm using some pictures or music from big companies, it's not in order to make myself rich. Okay, so let's start with number 10, which is surprisingly not from Japan. Oh yeah, rage in comments, how could you do this? Okay, listen to me. It's a manhwa from South Korea called The Breaker. This was originally supposed to be number 9, but I haven't read so much of it. The reason why it's on this list is simple. Martial fucking arts. I love them. And here they are, and they are, as always, good. And also there are some kicking ass characters, good battles, and so on and so on and so on. Number 9 is Deadman Wonderland. This beast is, to be honest, different than other shounens. Especially first 20 or so chapters can be put even into seinen category. Why? Because it's bloody as hell. And female characters, oh my god, they are not like your average Sakuras or Orihimes. They are not, oh my hero, I love you. And they are surprisingly useful in the story. They are not just sitting around and doing nothing, just whining, and bitching. No, they are kind of, especially Shiro, they are center. They are one of the main forces which move story forward. Number 8. Do you like Berserk? You know that Miura's masterpiece, which happens to be one of the best mangas ever written, with dark settings and good characters, bloody scenes, etc, etc. You can ask yourself, why am I mentioning actually seinen in a video related to shounens? Answer is simple. Let's go back to Korea for a while. And let's read manhwa Ares. It's shonen, so it's not as bloody, but hell, you can see similarities, especially with Golden Age arc. And I freaking love Golden Age arc. Just change medieval settings into ancient Rome or something like that, and throw away a little bit of blood, just a little, and all of nudity. You have Ares. Of course, main hero isn't as badass as Guts, but he can kill. Although he behaves more like shonen hero most of the time, he can kill. He kills his enemies. He doesn't just want them to go to his side. He just draws his blade and stabs them right into heart. But to be honest, I have to mention here some drawbacks. For example, drawing isn't as good, and beginning can be a little slow, but trust me, it's worth your time. It really is. Let's go back to Japan, but not to today's Japan. Let's go to beginning of Meiji era. Yes, number 7 is historical manga. It's pretty famous, and it's called Rurouni Kenshin. Why is this title here? Freaking Kyoto arc! I love Kyoto arc, I love Shishio, I love badass Kenshin, I love all of the characters. They are just great, and Kyoto arc is one of the best arcs in shonen history. Best arc in Bleach sucks balls compared to this. This arc is the sole reason why it's in here and why I consider Kenshin to be the second best Shonen Jump title ever. Of course, it has another good arcs, maybe even awesome, but this is godlike! Number 6 is again something unusual. It's called Zetsuen no Tempest, and although I consider this to be action shonen, the things here are characters and dialogues. Why? For example, we can take main heroes Yoshino and Mahiro, who are not like other shonen protagonists. They are not, "Yeah, I'm going to save the world! Yeah, I'm going to beat you!" Mahiro is every cold-blooded, revenge-seeking character done right. He is not emo, he just doesn't care about the world. All he wants is to find his sister's murderer and end his life. And Yoshino can be cruel at times, he can lie, he can cheat, he's just cool. And I'm not talking about other characters like Hakaze, Samon, etc, etc. And the best thing here is that you can't guess a villain. You don't know who is the bad guy from beginning. And if you think you know, trust me, it's a lie. They are lying to you. He isn't. At least for half of the series, nobody can be labeled as bad or good. Nobody. You can't trust characters in this anime. And dialogues. Oh yeah. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but look forward to certain interactions. My number 5 is surprisingly ongoing thing. It's Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic. Beginning was kind of unpleasant for me with weird genies, Aladdin as booby-loving perverted kid, and Alibaba who only wanted his girlfriend, so I wasn't pleased. I like the setting, Arabian, but this I thought it just wasn't for me. Boy, was I wrong. This shit just grew better and better every chapter and culminated in the best shonen arc to date. At least for me, Magnostadt occupies that position. And of course, the roster of characters is just brilliant. The best example can be this guy, Sindibad. He is so shady, so manipulative. You can't be sure if he is good guy or a villain. Spoiler alert, I think that he is more like bad guy now, especially based on Magi chapter 211. He just controlled Kyogoku? What? Okay, end of spoilers. Okay, let's move on. Here in West we have nice fairy tale about something called the Big Three. We think that Naruto, One Piece and Bleach are the same in terms of popularity and maybe even quality. In Japan, they know they aren't. Naruto and Bleach are average, maybe even good, but there is one juggernaut which just kills competition almost every time, and that's One Piece, which is here, of course. Why I consider this to be best Shonen Jump title ever? It has really cool settings, pirates and that stuff. World is just crazy, filled with awesome ideas. It's funny as hell, especially Luffy and Usopp. The story is really great, although it takes its time to develop. I don't want to waste your time here to brag about awesomeness of One Piece. I will talk about this series in next videos. So let's go to number 3, which is again really underrated here on YouTube. And I think it deserves much more attention than it gets. It's not manga, it's not manhwa, it's a webtoon. Maybe some of you think, what the fuck is webtoon? So let me explain. It's type of comics which doesn't have pages. Every chapter is just one long strip, especially famous site in Korea, which is, by the way, the kingdom of webtoons, is Naver. And from this site comes number 3, Tower of God. This was originally supposed to be number 4, but I was objective for a while. I used my head. So, does One Piece have a better story than Tower of God? Hell no! Is One Piece better world than Tower of God? No. Are heroes of One Piece better characters than heroes of this series? Hell no! I like Luffy and his crew, but they are not even close to, for example, Ko Agero Agnis or Anaxahard. Maybe even 26 Bam is better main hero than Luffy, although I don't like him as much. The only exception is that fucking bitch! Reference to end of volume 1 of Tower of God, which contains one of the most shocking and unexpected twists which I ever read in shonen. Seriously, I was like trembling. Number 2 was a little bit more complicated than others, because to be honest, I can see there are elements of seinen and elements of shonen, so I decided to fuck this and put it into both categories. It's seinen / shonen. What am I talking about? Number 2 is Strays. So what's great about this series? Imagine X-Men. Throw into X-Men Ocean's 11. Agents, killers, every freaking thing which is good, mix it together, you have Trace. Like Tower of God or Ares, the drawings isn't as good from beginning, but trust me, the author can play with panels and colors. Overall, I think that this is just fucking amazing, and by far the most underrated series on this list. Before I go to number 1, I have to tell you about 3 series which I think they are good, but they didn't make it. First one is Toriko. I am not too far with this, so maybe it can be better, I don't know. Second and third are both from the same author. Their names are Yu Yu Hakusho and Hiatus X Hiatus. Okay, it's Hunter x Hunter, but I'm just joking. Especially HXH was really close. The only thing why it isn't on the bottom is Togashi's ability to catch every freaking deadly disease when the release date of new Dragon Quest is near. Cool way to ruin your manga, you know, man. Okay, let's finish it with number 1. The franchise on this place is not only by far the best shonen I have ever laid my eyes on. It contains the best mainstream manga I have ever read. And by mainstream, I mean every freaking thing which came out with help of big companies like Shueisha, Square Enix, Shogakukan and other. It contains by far my favorite anime of all time, and a lot of people can agree with me on this one. And also, it has by far the best fillers ever created. By freaking far! You can guess which franchise it is. Okay, you are smart and good, beautiful, so I will tell you. It's Hagane no Renkin Jutsushi, aka Full Metal Alchemist. It's by leagues better than everything here under number 2. It's miles above Naruto. It's Bleach times million, and I'm even putting Bleach higher than it deserves. It's so great, and yes, you can call me a fanboy, I don't care. I am. This is one of the greatest things I have ever laid my eyes on, and I am including books, movies, TV series, everything in this statement. It has my favorite male hero in manga, second favorite female character. Badass villains, actually the best in shonen, by far. If you lived under a rock for 10 years or so and haven't even touched this awesome series, being it manga or 2 animated adaptations, do it now. You will regret if you don't do it now. And by the way, I forgot to mention that Hiromu Arakawa, author of this series, is the goddess of manga. I have read 3 her works, this being of course by far the best, and all of them were really good, if not awesome. So read also Silver Spoon, although it's completely different genre, and Arsala Senki is promising too. But especially Silver Spoon is for a completely different top 10. So I can leave them be. If you like this video, like it, comment, maybe even subscribe, I don't know. And this is again Edward. Goodbye YouTube, see you next time.